Well, good morning, everybody. Let me get my notes up here if I can find them. Good Lord, there we are. Well, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to today's Esoteric Influences for the 23rd day of June, I believe. Yes, 2020. Um, so let's see. I tried this on my other computer today, and I'm trying to do this with a different. Well, it's a bigger screen, and it's not a laptop, it's a desktop, and so anyway, it isn't working. I don't know what's going on, so I guess I have to play around a little more with the software, but I can't get the audio and the video to match up. It's just so annoying. This computer, on the other hand, does it just fine. So I don't know. I may just stick with it. It wasn't what I wanted to do though, but it's fine. It's a wide screen camera on it, so I don't know why I'm trying to do something any different, but that's what I do. I just like, oh, let's try this now and see if it works. But it's not. So anyway, today's five influence basically changes our experience today and can be quite profound. But again, the virus is spiking around the country. Here in Oregon, in particular, we've got over in La Grande, which is in Eastern Oregon, there's a church. 236, I believe, people are sick. They ignored Governor Brown's stay-at-home order. They ignored everything and decided that that wasn't going to be what they were going to do. And so now, I don't even know how many people are in La Grande. I know it's not that big of a place, though. So 236 people to be ill, that's an awful lot of people. And we've not heard how that's progressing. I can't imagine that, if a lot of people have to go into the hospital over there, they're not going to have any bed space. They're going to have to go to Pendleton. They're going to have to spread them out because I just don't see how they're going to have enough bed space over there. I mean, maybe, but I don't think so. La Grande just isn't that big of a place. And to have that many people come up sick just seems just so awful, to think that something like that could happen. So be certain that all measures are taken today to keep yourself safe. Wear a mask, wear gloves, socially distance, so that everyone is all concerned or protected and safe. Not just you, but everybody else. If 80% of us, they say, would just do this, then we would have a much easier time of it. But as it stands now, masks are in our future for a while, it seems like. At least that's what it looks like to me. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but that's what it looks like to me. And I just think we could have done things so differently if we actually had somebody sitting in the Oval Office that understood what his job was and understood what the stakes are. And he doesn't. It's all about self-dealing and about what he can put in his own pocket, I guess, or his family can. I don't know. It's what it looks like to me. But again, we'll all have to decide what that really is in November, I suppose. Because, the Senate, of course, didn't seem to want to do its job and throw him out. I think we'd be in a much different place, particularly if they had thrown out the vice president as well. So in any event, because I honestly, I think that's what would have happened, and that's why they didn't do it. So, anyway, Sawillo is the rune for today. It means it's the fire element. It means the will, spirit, energy, self-confidence, healing, the higher self, illumination, but it's also an as above, so below rune. So it's the link between higher self and form. And so this is the rune. You can kind of see it's as above, so below nature, especially if you've been to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune, where we talk a great deal about the runes, and I tend to explode them to show you all the other runes. Some of them are actually bind runes, and so if you look at how they're comprised, you can see all the other runes within them. You can almost see how they get their meaning just from that. I don't know why I started doing that one day, but I did, and it just opened things up. I mean, it's not that I had never seen it before, but just drawing it out like that and working with them that way was just really kind of illuminating there. The moon's in Leo right now. It went into Leo. It traveled from Cancer into Leo at 5:34 this morning, my time, here in Oregon. You may feel like engaging with others today, and you might want to be the center of attention. Leo is the organizer. They like to organize parties. They're very warm. They're lively. They're generous. I mean, they can be arrogant if they're on the other end of the spectrum from being, the positive end of things, but mostly they just like to have fun with people, and so they're a great source of play and fun and unfortunately, though, you're going to have to think outside the box uh, some more because right now we're still in the uh, virus ticking up phase, and so you want to be sure that you do whatever you're going to do safely. So if you're going to get together with people, give yourself a lot of room, wear masks, and don't be touching stuff. And I think that you might do okay, but otherwise, if you're feeling uncomfortable at all, which I would be uncomfortable to do that, I wouldn't do it. I personally wouldn't go to anyone's house right now. Um, but you can always do a Zoom party. That's becoming really popular now, and I think that there's lots of alternative ways. Facebook, I guess, has a new thing. I don't know if it's out yet or what, but you can get a bunch of people together and have a chat, and so they've got their own little version of it, I guess, and but you can do that. You can have a little party online and have fun that way. So I think that if you're feeling like you want to do that, then do it safely, and uh, it should be a great thing to do today with this Tuesday energy. Lots of catalytic energy today. A lot of you could have impulse control issues. Just try not to do that. Truly just focus on the fun of it all and the safety of it all. Uh, from the human design chart. And again, if you want to follow along over on the blog at imsteppingaside.com, I really recommend you do that because that way you can see what the human design chart actually looks like for each day. I just think they're really cool looking. And it's just instead of a 7 chakra type of a thing, it's a 9 chakra type of an experience. You can look at them as energy centers instead of chakras, and which that's what chakras are. They're energy centers. It's just that there's actually more than 7, and human design considers basically 9, if you want to look at it that way. But what it's recommending today is as we maintain a single-minded focus, take whatever opportunities that come along to stay the course and remain true to our collective cause. Whether it's dealing with the virus or whether it's dealing with the virus of racism and the issue of policing in this country and what it's turned into. Those of us that live in smaller areas, we don't necessarily see that. It's not that it doesn't happen. I'm sure it may, but I don't know. We live in a smaller, more rural type of an area, and so I've never seen the kinds of things here that I've seen. I've seen police act inappropriately and maybe get a little too riled up maybe and get in someone's face, but and I don't know, maybe it was matching whatever was happening. I don't know. I've just seen that from a distance, and it's like kind of gives you pause. It's like, uh-oh, what's happening? But I've actually never seen what's happening now in these videos. This seems to happen every single day in communities around this country. I've never seen it. And to watch it now, it's so unsettling and so upsetting, and it just makes you want to get up out of your chair and scream, no more. Enough already. What are you people doing? I saw one where it was a disabled person with prosthetic legs. They had to go get his legs from the police. What on earth is happening? It was just some, and I hope that whatever we think we saw, I hope that isn't what we were seeing, but I don't know. It seems to be. It's the sun's aligning with Uranus today as well, suggesting that an individual lacking impulse control may attempt to thwart our progress. Don't let that person do that, or persons do that, whether it's the guy in the Oval Office or the counter protesters you might encounter, or somebody who yells at you for wearing a mask. Don't even give them any response. Just walk on if you can. Just get away from them as quickly as you can. If you're the one struggling with impulse control, understand that what you do about that if you happen to be positive for the virus, you might not know. You might not know for a while, for a week or two maybe. Then all of a sudden the symptoms come up. And all that time, see, you were very contagious and you were spreading it around to people. And they didn't know because you didn't appear ill. You could, thwart the progress of an entire community by going out and about and hitting this place and that place and this place and that place, doing the rounds like we all do. It's time to go shopping, so we go to all these places, get everything we need in one trip, right? But in the process, you might be actually, spreading the virus to other people. So be aware of that. Wear a mask. Wear some gloves. You just don't know. We're not going to know till we know. And that's the problem with this. So just assume you have it and protect yourself and others and be very, very happy when you don't. When you don't come down with it, rather. So anyhow, I guess that's it. It's going to be like 95 here today. I don't even know what to do about that. My husband's out watering everything in sight. And we'll have to do it again here toward the end of the day to supplement, I think. Things are so dry here on the high desert. It's all volcanic. And it's a desert, basically. It's just up high. It's at 3,000 feet or higher. And you just never know. Water is at a minimum, really, and we don't get a whole lot of rain, although we've been getting some. Later on in the summer, it's usually accompanied, if we get it, with ground striking lightning, so that's always fun to deal with. And so, I don't know. We're just always... You really have to understand between that and the wind and the volcanic soil. New people here struggle with gardens and we've got a neighbor that seems to want to mow their pasture. It's like, what are you doing? Don't do that. Don't mow your pasture all the time, like weekly. Don't keep it lawn size. You've got horses. Let it grow up around them. Let them feed it. Let them feed on it. That's what it's there for. But unfortunately, it doesn't lend itself well to keeping the moisture in the ground. So we fight all of that here. Gardening's real interesting. You could have everything in July, from hail to snow to, and 95-degree weather or triple-digit weather, all in the same day here. It's just the most bizarre place in the world. Well, it probably isn't, but it's one of the more bizarre places, especially to try to grow anything. So in any event, that's what we'll be doing today, is trying to keep everything growing. My tomatoes are looking pretty good, though. We've been picking strawberries, and the peas haven't come on yet, although they're starting to flower. So, everything's just pretty much still starting out. So we have to plant late here on the high desert. We don't get to put out anything until, well, the beans don't go in until usually the first Saturday in June. And so, although I have them in a greenhouse right now, and so the ones I have growing around the dome, though, got hit by some cold weather. Maybe it got down to about 34. They didn't like it, but they were just coming up, so not all of them got it. So we managed to miss the rest of it. So they should be all right. They should grow up over at least part of the dome anyway. Part of it's got, what do you call it, grapes grown over it. So that's pretty cool, mixed in with honeysuckle. So I wanted a living cover. It's going to take a long time to get it, though. Anyway, I guess that's it. So watch for, this is going to go up over on the side panel of the blog. Watch for Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune to also come up. And then I guess I can actually post this over on Pinterest, too, because I'm under 15 minutes. So yay. I'm on a 15-minute time limit with them. But look for this on Instagram and every place else. And then look for the Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune to post as well. So I'm going to do that here after I watch this and see if I have to record this again or not. And have a wonderful day and be good to yourself. Be good to one another. And blessed be.